the Mona Lisa, the world's most famous masterpiece. Every year, millions of people flock to the Louvre Museum in Paris to see her. Her smile, her eyes, her mysterious beauty, they all draw us in. But do you know that there was a time when this beauty had disappeared from the Louvre? When this smile was lost in the darkness? When a single theft shook the entire world? This was not just a theft. It was an incident that elevated a painting from just a painting to a global icon. This is the unique and mysterious truth of the Mona Lisa theft. The year was 1911. Europe was changing. The sound of new inventions, new ideas, and new conflicts could be heard. New experiments were also happening in the world of art. Paris, in particular, was the center of art and culture. The Louvre Museum, which was once a royal palace, was now the largest repository of art treasures. Thousands of paintings, sculptures, and invaluable fragments of history were hidden within its walls, and among them was the Mona Lisa, painted by Leonardo da Vinci. The Mona Lisa we know today is the story after the 1911 theft. At that time, it was definitely an important painting, a Da Vinci masterpiece, but it was absolutely not the star attraction of the Louvre. People were often more eager to see sculptures like the Venus de Milo and the Winged Victory of Samothrace. The Mona Lisa hung on a large, plain wall, behind a simple sheet of glass, with no special security. Perhaps one or two people would stop to try and understand the enigma hidden in her smile, but most people would move on. It was just a small picture, 77 by 53 centimeters, made with oil and colors, whose true glory people had not yet fully recognized. Sunday, August 20th, 1911, the Louvre Museum was closed. The next day, Monday, August 21st, the Louvre remained closed to the public on Mondays. Thousands of museum employees, maintenance workers, cleaners, and many art students came to work. It started like any ordinary day. By 7 a.m., everything was fine. There was no unauthorized person inside the museum. Guards had conducted their routine patrols, yet something was happening that no one had imagined. At 7:20 a.m., a man wearing the white smock of a Louvre employee entered the gallery where the Mona Lisa hung. His name was Vincenzo Peruggia, a 30-year-old Italian painting restorer and glassmaker who actually worked at the Louvre. He was the one who had made a safety glass case for the very painting he decided to steal. He was completely alone. No guards, no watchmen. He calmly lifted the painting from its spot. It was not as difficult as you might think. Just 4 screws needed to be opened. Peruggia carefully removed the painting from its heavy oak frame, which significantly reduced its weight. He hid the frame in a secluded stairwell. Now he only had the canvas. Mounted on a small panel, he hid it under his smock and moved forward. Now he faced another challenge, getting out of the museum. A closed door blocked his path. But fate was with him. A plumbing contractor who was fixing the water arrived and helped Peruggia. Without any suspicion, he opened the door. By 7:45 a.m., Vincenzo Peruggia had walked out of the Louvre Museum. He took a taxi and went straight to his room in Paris. He hid the Mona Lisa in a false-bottom trunk placed under his bed. No noise, no drama. Just like that, the world's most famous painting disappeared so easily. But no one knew yet. The next day, Tuesday, August 22nd, 1911, the Louvre Museum opened to the public. An artist, Louis Barraud, who was making a copy of the Mona Lisa, arrived there. When he saw that the painting was not in its place, he thought it might have been removed for photography or cleaning. This was common practice at the Louvre. He told a guard. The guard laughed and said the painting must be in the studio. But when the painting was not found even in the studio, the chain of questions began. By evening, the news had spread throughout the world. Mona Lisa stolen! Newspapers published the news in large letters. It was the only topic of discussion everywhere. There was an atmosphere of mourning in Paris. Pressure began to mount on the government. The police immediately launched an investigation. Every corner of the Louvre was searched. Every employee was interrogated, but no clue was found. The people the police initially suspected were quite surprising. Pablo Picasso, who was experimenting with new art styles like Cubism at the time, was also brought under suspicion. His friend, the poet Guillaume Apollinaire, who had already been arrested on charges of selling stolen art, was also called for questioning. Apollinaire even suggested that Picasso should be sent to jail. However, due to lack of evidence, they were soon released. The general public wondered, who dared to commit such a theft? And what could be the motive behind it? The theft presented the Mona Lisa in a new light. When she was in the Louvre, she was a special painting, but the theft turned her into a global phenomenon. Her disappearance made her so famous that people started buying her pictures and making her copies. The painting that people previously overlooked was now in every newspaper, every magazine, and every home. In a way, the theft immortalized the Mona Lisa. People started leaving flowers for her, praying for her return. Meanwhile, Vincenzo Peruggia, who had committed such a great theft, was living right there in Paris. His stolen treasure painting was lying in a small trunk under his bed. Were his nights sleepless? Was he not afraid of being caught? Peruggia convinced everyone that he was sick and could not come to work. The police also questioned him, but he answered very calmly, and no one suspected him. He lived a completely ordinary life with the stolen Mona Lisa for 2 years. 2 years passed. No clue. The police had given up. People were also slowly forgetting the Mona Lisa, or perhaps thought she would never return. But Peruggia's patience was wearing thin. He had found a buyer for the painting, an Italian art dealer, Alfredo Geri. Peruggia wrote a letter claiming the painting belonged to Italy and should be brought back to Italy. In December 1913, Peruggia reached Florence by train with the painting. He called Geri to his hotel room and showed him the painting. Geri and the art director Giovanni Poggi, who was with him, were stunned when they saw the real Mona Lisa. They knew it was authentic. They told Peruggia that they were taking it to keep it safe, and they informed the police. The next day, Peruggia was arrested. Vincenzo Peruggia's trial attracted the attention of the whole world. In court, he narrated an interesting story behind his theft. He claimed that he was a patriot. His motive was not to earn money. He claimed that Napoleon Bonaparte had stolen the Mona Lisa from Italy, and he wanted to bring it back to its rightful home, Italy. His story greatly appealed to the Italian people at the time. They saw him as a hero who had restored Italy's honor. Was Peruggia's claim true? Did Napoleon steal the Mona Lisa? The answer is no. Leonardo da Vinci himself sold the Mona Lisa to King Francis I of France. It came to France legally. Napoleon certainly won many Italian artworks in war and took them to France, but the Mona Lisa was not among them. Peruggia's story, though interesting, was historically incorrect, but his patriotic fervor made him a hero in the eyes of the Italian public. 2 years, 2 months, and 11 days after the theft, the Mona Lisa was coming home. First, it was displayed in several cities in Italy, where millions of people came to see it. People stood in line for hours to meet her. There was an atmosphere of celebration in Italy. And when she returned to Paris, her popularity had increased many times over. She was now the biggest star of the Louvre. People came from far and wide to see her. Her smile had now become part of a mysterious theft story. Vincenzo Peruggia was sentenced to only 1 year and 15 days for the theft. He was considered a hero, not a thief. His theft made the Mona Lisa a global icon. Her absence made her priceless. Today, the Mona Lisa is kept inside a special, bulletproof display in the Louvre, with constant security around her. But even today, the mystery hidden in her smile is connected to the story of her theft. But does this story end here? Has the mystery of the Mona Lisa theft been completely solved? Over the past few decades, a new theory has emerged, which adds even more depth to this theft. Some people believe that the painting Vincenzo Peruggia stole was not the real Mona Lisa. Did he make several fake copies of the painting he kept with him for 2 years after the theft? And did he hide the original painting somewhere else and give the Louvre a fake copy? This theory is quite interesting. The logic given behind this is that Peruggia had 2 years. He was an artist and a glassmaker, which means he might have had the knowledge to make copies. If he had made a fake copy, he could have sold it and hidden the original painting somewhere else, perhaps for even more money, or perhaps for some other patriotic motive. Some people who support this theory also say that the sentence Peruggia received for the theft was so short that it could have been part of a bigger conspiracy. Some historians and art experts even believe that there was a bigger mastermind behind the theft. An Argentine con artist, Eduardo de Valfierno, who hired Peruggia to commit the theft. Valfierno's goal was not to steal the original painting, but to make several fake copies of it and sell them to wealthy American collectors. He created a story for each copy that it was the real Mona Lisa, stolen from France. If this is true, then Peruggia was just a pawn. So, is the Mona Lisa in the Louvre not the original? Are we all in a deception? Most experts do not agree with this. They say that when the Mona Lisa was returned, many tests were conducted to confirm its purity and authenticity. Its images, its blemishes, its texture, all matched its condition before the theft. But still, a small corner of the mystery always remains. What if the theft of the Mona Lisa was an incident that did not just change a painting? It also changed the world of art, security systems, and our perception. It taught us how priceless a work of art can be and how easily it can be stolen. But most of all, it gave the Mona Lisa the identity she has today. The enigma hidden in her smile has become even deeper with the mystery of her theft. When you look at the Mona Lisa next time, remember not just her smile, but also her story. The story in which a small thief, without any weapon, committed a theft that shook the world. And the story where a painting found its immortality through its disappearance. The Mona Lisa, the stolen icon, the smiling mystery.